Vigilante Ways are here on another episode of the Primetime Kings with man 24/7 Fusion Media and our honorary king, Baron Orman Tag. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. You?
I'm doing all
Yeah,
right.
I'm hanging in there, man. Just enjoying the week, man, and just being real thankful, man. I appreciate everybody that supported the video and enjoyed it. From my last Friday pre-show, and yeah, just it's been good, man.
It's a good video.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It was.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually, couldn't have done it, without the wake down, man. And he's a great dude, man. Trying to help us out, man. And
He's the
very
man.
thankful, man. So shout out to the wake down. Fucking YouTube permanently took away his channel.
Oh no.
But
Yeah.
you can.
I don't want to, because like he's been, because of how that went, he's been really sensitive about us, like, because like apparently he's like super banned, like he's supposedly not even supposed to associate with other channels, right? So like he's really sensitive about that. I'm only saying that because he is. So he doesn't want us to, like, even though we know, a lot of us know his new channel or whatever, he doesn't want us to constantly link it in case YouTube catches on. So I just want to talk that out there. Not just for you, anyone in the chat, because everybody's a friend.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying, like, just letting folks know, because I had looked for his channel the other day, and then he told me, man. So, because I was wondering why I haven't heard from him, like as far as him like putting out something. So I personally looked, and then was wondering what was going on. And it's funny because after I looked, I didn't hit him up and I didn't ask no questions. I didn't say anything. But lo and behold, like not even fucking 30 minutes later, he spoke on it. And I was like, well, all right, this is what's going on. But the thing is, man, he's a great dude, man. And all, he be looking out, man. He cares about what's going on this side of the line. And, he's a great dude, man, great friend. And I'm just thankful, man, that, he's here with us, man, and he supports us, man. He looks out for us. And that's, yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, man. I mean, fuck, man, if anything happens with YouTube, man, I'm riding with the wake down, man. So just want to say shout out to him. Brightest Day, man. They've been looking out, man. Thank you, Brightest Day and Pat S. And Mexican Iron Man, and just
shout out to Mexican Iron Man, super dope.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a shout out, man. Just tell everyone thank you, man, for them trying to look out for us, man, and looking out for me, and I appreciate it, man. It's just, but yeah, man, it was a great video, man. When I seen it, I can't lie, man. I seen that video about 3 times, man. It was my own shit. That's kind of weird as fuck. But every time I watch it, it just kind of put goosebumps on me. It was like, man, I don't know. I mean, it was how I felt, but it kind of like I was fucking possessed at the same time, bro. But it was like but that was how much it was fucking with me, man. And just came straight from the hip and straight from the heart, like papa. Like I was ready to go, man. So, and it's funny, I wasn't even drinking, man. I wasn't even drinking. Like I wasn't drinking. I haven't even smoked. I ain't smoked in a minute. So it wasn't even none of that, man. It was just, I was just fired up, man. And
understandable. I want to address a couple things in the chat. One, somebody said, what's my man's name? Hold on. Sorry,
damn, we missed a lot of folks in the chat, man.
Yes, tons. But yeah, Luke the Kook, WASD FM. Appreciate you being here. And I saw Luke Korowicz art. He said, "Holler if you hear me," and that's completely that's StreamYard. I didn't know that comment was up. I would click off, but yeah, just holler if you hear me. I'm like, it's funny you mentioned that because that was actually the issue, one of the main technical issues. Shout out to StreamYard being shitty as usual. We appreciate you never working. Right. And Loose Cannon 84 says, "Go to Rumble." The thing with alt tech, man, people just don't use it like that. So
right.
I would love to just go on a different platform and just say fuck YouTube, or even go concurrently. As I just show the other day, I have an Odyssey. So all my videos that I post, it doesn't do the live streams, but all the videos I post go to Odyssey automatically. And I checked it, and I got a lot of videos no views. So it's like, what can I do? You know what I mean? I'm on some of these platforms. I'm on mine. You know what I mean? But these platforms just don't have the
audience.
They don't have the audience, and it's just not. There's a couple people who will use them. They just don't have the audience, and that's the. And let's be honest, YouTube and Google. YouTube owns Google, or Google owns YouTube, whatever one. Or actually, I guess they both have the same parent.
They be gatekeeping.
They gatekeep. So when you search something on Google, you'll never find Odyssey. You'll never find Rumble. You'll never find Minds. You'll never find these platforms. So, I mean, granted, DuckDuckGo and Brave, as far as browsers and search engines, people are using them more. But it's still not up. We're not quite there yet. It's going to take some time. I think it can happen. I'm not saying we shouldn't use these platforms. There's a lot of big creators who are using them. I wish there was more people on there or some sort of audience on there.
I mean, isn't that something that they went after good old Microsoft for? Where it's like,
they did.
Let's be honest. That's what they went. Yeah, that's what they went after Microsoft for, because they got them putting all their stuff on, making sure their stuff was boom right there. And saying how they were holding back all the other people. This is the same damn thing. It's not even worse. It is far worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
you don't even say search. You say Google. They're they're so synonymous with the concept of searching something on the internet.
I remember it was Yahoo.
I do remember Yahoo. I remember Ask Jeeves.
Yep, Ask Jeeves. I miss Ask Jeeves. That was one of my favorites, actually.
AOL.
I remember those discs, those CD-ROMs. And then remember Net Zero came out.
Coasters. They make great coasters when you want to put a glass down. That's for sure. Yeah, that's what we always used it for.
That's funny.
But I use Go. What is it? Go Duck Go? I like to use
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, don't mention it right there. He's on there, and I use DuckDuckGo. Oh, because a lot of times I won't find articles if I don't use DuckDuckGo. There's stuff that I'm looking for. I won't find it on Google. I have to use DuckDuckGo. So that I do still use.
Damn, I haven't heard nobody talk about DuckDuckGo in a few years, man.
Yeah, well, it's I say that's gaining a little bit of popularity. All the alt tech things that I would say more people probably use DuckDuckGo than something like Rumble or anything else.
Right.
Yeah, I've never used Rumble.
Yeah, man, I'm on I'm on Odyssey, man, but there's like Odyssey doesn't allow you to turn like this. That's when I fucked up on something and tried to go back and fix it, change it, and they wouldn't let me, man. So it's like people wouldn't even know I'm even on Odyssey right now just because of whatever's on there, and they won't let me to they won't allow me to switch the information out. It's like it's fucked up. And the thing is, they won't allow you to make another account if you already used the email that's attached to it. No, I'm only
good luck. They don't even have that many tutorials on Odyssey. Like, so it's hard to figure out everything because I don't know everything about Odyssey. Right. I was able to somehow get my stuff linked, but they didn't link everything. Apparently because I remember talking to one thing I will say, Odyssey does return messages. They even because they have like a threshold of 300 subs, but they let me get on before I have 300 subs. So what I mean is if you have over 300 subs, they'll link your accounts. They'll link your YouTube to your Odyssey, which mines they did link, but they didn't link the live streams. But even with the videos, I post a lot of videos. You know what I mean? I've been posting more videos. Shout out to the Wake Down again. And they're not getting traction on that platform, even though think about it. All Odyssey is they're going to be more geared towards what I do. They're going to be more geared towards the people who want to hear.
If I know what one different platform that from time to time shows me some love, man, and that's Reddit, man.
You've mentioned Reddit. You've mentioned Reddit, and
it's the, with all the subreddits, with all the different shit that I love, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, certain characters from DC, the ones I talk probably like the most, like Just Side of America, Captain Marvel, Shazam, Black Adam, and all, DC Comics in general, movie leaks, anything attached to entertainment. Let me see what else. Just different franchises and different shit like that. Because I've always post about different pop culture shit, whether it's good or bad. I'm always posting different things, and I'm a part of so many different subreddits, man. You wouldn't even believe it, man. And it's unbelievable. And like, give you an example, there's a subreddit for Riddick, like the Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, all that with Vin Diesel, with the whole Riddick thing. Dog, one of my videos got posted on there. Like people still watching the video, and it was like fucking months ago, man. And these are people from Reddit that are watching it. This because, to be honest, if it would have been something that would have been left on YouTube, I would have got nothing but like maybe 15 or 20 views. But it took for me to put it somewhere where it mattered was when the fucking shit. And I'm talking about, it wasn't a few hundred, it's a few thousand people that have already watched that video. And people already leaving me comments. Like somebody left me a comment earlier today. He said, "Man, damn, we need another fucking Riddick movie and video game." So I heard between that, TikTok and Facebook, along with whatever you got going on YouTube, that should do a little something, man. I know that I'm fucking with Reddit tough. Facebook, I need to touch back with that, and I don't fuck with TikTok and Instagram. It is what it is, man. But the thing is, the more the merrier, and whatever it takes to put your name out, man, and let people know that you're there. Even if you gotta take a video and just like cut a little piece of it and throw it out there, it's doable, man. So
you don't do TikTok because you're a real man.
I still fuck with TikTok.
No, I have I have a TikTok, and I have issues. It looks like because Vine. I've never used Vine, man. Pat S is making fun. I've never used Vine. I never used a lot of stuff. I didn't have social media until I started this channel for like almost a decade. So I don't, I'm still learning stuff. But I already got 2 community strikes on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. Damn. One for the Koof, another one. I don't really know why. I was talking about how the Democrats or whatever were upset at white women. Oh, and apparently that was it. Maybe it was one of the
touchy subject. Yeah,
the hashtags or something. But both of those videos got taken down. Damn. On TikTok, and it says like community thing. And I don't know their guidelines like that. I don't know if those are strikes. I don't know how that shit works.
Right.
I don't know if I'm one video away from getting kicked off TikTok or what. But I already got two mess ups.
Well, see, I'm only on 2 platforms really. I mean, other than YouTube, and that's the fake book. And I should monitor that a little bit more. I don't. But and of course, Twitter, and that's about it. Because I suppose if I really put the time in, I can go out there and promote me, blah blah blah. But I can only handle so much crap. I really can. And Twitter and Facebook is just enough for me right now.
I feel you on that. Me, shit, the more the merrier, man. I'm just trying to get out, So I've been thinking about trying to find a way to rework the Odyssey thing and try to come on there full strength. Between that and Minds, I got a list of different little platforms that I plan to, Luckily, everything's good with Reddit, Shit, I know Pat S helped me with that, man. So shout out to Pat S, man. Thank you for that. And yeah, man, I just we got to get the word out, man, on with whatever we talking about, man, and how we feel about shit, and basically the injustice, man, and that's going on that in everyday life and in pop culture, and and the different shit that we care about, man. And
keep that fire going.
Yeah. That's part of the fight. Of course, like I said before, we're going to continue to cover comic books and pop culture and all the things that we love. But man, when we see shit getting slighted a little bit, we're gonna be front and center to put that shit on blast, man, and not let that shit slide. Cause fuck, when it comes to like I say, when it comes to the things that we love, those folks on the other side of things tend to take off the gloves, and now it's time for us to take off the gloves on them, man. I know people, people want to be, they want to play more to their, morale and do things the right way. The thing is, man, nothing's fair at this point.
Well, it depends what that is. Like, I'm not about to go out and do some of the crazy shit they do. Like
No, I mean
Godspeed.
not but I'm
No.
not like that. But
like,
what I'm saying is just
thing,
like basically not holding back. We're not talking about doing nothing. We ain't causing no harm or no shit like that. We're talking about the real speaking up. And the thing is, the thing that's the firepower that we have is truth, man. We're not sitting here selling nobody no wolf tickets. We're not lying to nobody. We're not sitting here and we're not trying to paint a pretty or a perfect picture for anybody as well. The thing is, man, there's stuff that's going on, man, and as much as people try to come, to us as a way to escape, the thing is, man, it's hard, man. It's hard to sit there and just be so positive and so this and at that point, it's like, fuck. I'm hopeful, but I don't want to be fake.
Well, when it comes around down to it, is simple as this. When it comes around to the wolf, this is something that someone else once said a long time ago, and it was about basically the Karens and such back before they were called Karens. But it's like, you have to ask this question. When are you happy? When is the fight over? And for them, it's not. They have to keep on finding something to go out there and keep on going. We have an end game. We want our stuff returned back to how it was. We want the stories. We don't want a political and social justice platform. I mean, which is different than actually thoughts and ideas. We just want to bring it back to what it was and enjoy. They will go, okay, I want this. And then, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this. And they go from one to another. They're never, ever happy. We are by general. Yeah, we might be irritated. We might be vocal. We might be loud. But when you get to look at the people in the chat, look at the people on the other channels. We are laughing, having a good time, singing, along with as we are bringing forward the issues of why we are fighting. And you just hear misery from them all the time. It's always, someone said this and I almost just crumbled. And then someone started clapping and lying and everybody else started clapping and I felt so good. And other bullshit that never happened, Alex.
So I gotta slightly push back. I think sometimes we do sound miserable. I think sometimes this does sound miserable. So like my thing is, one thing I do think we need to start doing, we need to start like boycotting shit, like straight up. Like we should have boycotted Disney like as a move, like as a thing. Like nah, fuck it. And I know what one of the problems is like if you want to cover some of this stuff, it's like well you do gotta have to watch some of it, and you end up in this gray area. But I really think like, especially now that Disney's now starting to have a little trouble, now that the investors are starting to ask a little questions, now that they're not accepting shit. Right now, if you want to boycott Disney, now's the time. Now's the time to make your voice heard. That's something we can do. I think we do need to start like, okay, we need to start moving on this shit. We can't just we still need to talk. I'm not saying talking is over, but talking is not enough because they need to feel it. They do need to feel it in their pockets. Else, how else are they gonna hurt? Now this whole time they were getting money from China this whole time. And now that relationship may not be the same, not just Disney, a lot of these companies. And they just had investor confidence out the ass. They had the resources to ignore us, even if they didn't put out a good product. Well, now some of that stuff is starting to roll back. And so I think now is the time to attack. And I wanted to mention one thing I actually almost forgot. Juice Cannon 84 blew that shit up for a Marvel related $6.16. So Loose Cannon 84. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it, bro. We all appreciate it. But I do think we do. Now's the time to start moving on this because entertainment, a lot of these companies are hurting. So now it's like, all right, it's time to start these motherfuckers.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, the only thing I did was I did one of the little dummy quickies where you get that free week for Disney just so I could watch the Visions. But of course, that doesn't mean they got a cent from me. It just means I got that free week because you used that dummy card. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I never subscribed to Disney. I never have. I canceled Netflix a long time ago because I was finally pissed off at them.
Smart.
The only thing I subscribe to is BritBox. because at least they're somewhat decent. They're bringing out all the old British shows from the 60s, 70s, and not just BBC, but the old ITV Channel 4 stuff that they had over there. That's about the only one I subscribed to. But yeah, I boycotted them. And the thing is, our boycott is quiet, and exactly what you're saying. It's hitting the pocketbook. We're not out there in the streets and screaming and, oh my God, Chappelle did this, and we're running and crying and all that crap. We are hitting the pocketbook, and this is when you're talking about China. That is exactly what I would suspect of, because when they're talking about how the theaters are full, and you see the little charts when you go into the theater, and it says all these seats are taken. Then you walk in there, the place is virtually empty. Well, who's buying those tickets? Who's keeping it alive? They're being artificially floated. And this is not the first time it's happened. I mean, I have personal experience working inside the industry of that stuff happening. And
that's all happens all the time in the entertainment industry. Oh, yeah. That's a whole gimmick. You buy enough tickets or albums and you make
right. I was gonna say they do that shit. In the record, in the music industry, they'll sit there and motherfuckers will sit there and buy their own albums just so that they can go gold or platinum.
Right.
So, yeah, man,
it's a game.
Right. Well, it's one thing when you're buying your own shit, but it's another thing when you're sitting there and you're buying tickets, and when you walk into a theater that says this motherfucker's full. And you walk in there and there's only 3 people sitting in that motherfucker, or the whole shit's empty.
Yeah,
that's telling. Yeah. That's you see it for yourself. People have walked in, recorded that kind of shit. Like, they recorded talking to the person, getting the information, walking into the actual theater and see that shit is fucking empty as shit. And I'm like, damn. And then people want to think. No, I'm sorry.
I think about the only time that where I saw the theater had the amount of people that said was the last movie I went to see, Dune. It was actually one people were going to, and that was, okay, this is realistic. What I saw on the chart is what's matching here. So obviously people are actually coming to see this film, but all the others, it's like, eh. I mean, the rabbit chickens, who wants to see a rabbit chicken?
That's Mexican Iron Man.
I mean, that classic one, and how he was talking about walking into that theater, and the theater was empty, even though he said that place was full. So I think Disney and all those guys are starting to lose that money because whether people like it or not, China is starting to hurt financially themselves. Yeah. There's only so much they can float around, and I think they're starting to feel it. And so that sugar money is being taken away from these studios that everyone is bowing down to, except for the South Park guys, who are more than happy to go after China. And I don't know how they're able to get away with it because I'm sure Comedy Central was just pulling their hair out.
They gave those South Park guys because I think that's through Warner. They just gave them like 900 million.
Yeah.
So apparently
exactly.
And maybe that's because they were starting to realize, well, China's not paying us, so we might as well go with what's actually making money because we can't get that sugar daddy money anymore.
No.
So
no, exactly.
Now's the time to hurt them. Now's the time to say fuck it. Buy shit used. That's one thing. If you do like, oh man, I really want to get this comic. I really want to get this, whatever. Buy it used. You don't have to buy nothing new.
Yeah, the last new comic I bought was from IDW. I didn't buy Marvel. I didn't buy DC or any of those guys. And there was just one comic. I mean, I walk into the comic store. It's like, there's not. I go right to the old comic bin and start going through there. It's like, okay, I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. And they're cheaper. They're cheaper. You get more. And those great ads. I love those ads.
Those old classic ads.
Oh yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, man. I'm not going to. I got to agree, man. Sit there and see what kids back in like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. What they were buying, it's some cool shit. Yeah, man. I mean, from like Bubble Yum, like, what's that? What you got there, man?
That was the cartoons. The advertisement they had for the cartoons inside.
Oh, for the Smurfs and the Care Bears.
No. Yeah. What it is? What that is when you look at the Saturday, Saturday morning cartoons,
Yeah,
that was basically the whole lineup. Like you could watch the Pucky Brewster cartoon, the Smurfs,
yeah,
and it's like I used to.
and you had that.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was some bunch of good shit, man.
It was fantastic. I love it. I mean, who didn't send away for those 3D glasses or those X-ray glasses?
Yeah, and didn't see shit. Yeah,
he didn't see a dang thing, and then got the brine shrimp that were the incredible sea monkeys.
Oh, the sea monkeys. You know what, man? I'll tell you something, man. I walked into Five Below, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were selling a real fucking Venus flytrap.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Dude. And the thing is, it comes in a container. It was just a baby. Like you could tell it was, but that motherfucker was real as shit. And you can grow that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But they got the Venus flytrap. Then in the back, they have all the basically all the little toys and trinkets you would see in those advertisements in the comic books, like X-ray glasses, what was those the sea monkeys.
Yes, sea monkeys.
Yeah, and you just buy you would see all this shit back there, and this all the shit that folks that enjoy all the shit you grew up on, looking at all the little advertisements. Five Below is the place, man. If there's a Five Below anywhere, like there's a shitload of them out here in Houston. You know what I'm saying? But Five Below is from up north, and when you look at their candy aisle, they have old school candies from up north. It's like it's weird as fuck, man. It's like a blast in the past, going in there and just seeing the kind of candies you would only find if you'd have to live on the East Coast to see the candies that Five Below carries.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I even got the Happy Little Trees mints from Bob Ross. There, it's like how can you not pass that up? It's Bob Ross, for crying out loud, the patron saint of calm. And I have to sit back and say that is my guilty pleasure. I will, because I got Pluto TV. They have a Bob Ross channel. That's all it is, Bob Ross. And I turn that sucker on sometimes when I'm feeling tense and just wanting to strangle something. It's like a couple minutes in, it's like, those are happy little trees. Ain't that wonderful? And look, it's a happy little bush. I bet you that's where he buried that happy little body.
Bob Ross seemed like a weed head, man. I think he was really calm. I think he just would, hit his shit right before he did and just paint. And that's why he was so calm and chill. Because he was like a military dude beforehand, wasn't he? He was.
Yeah, he was.
I heard he was, man.
Yeah, and he said that his career was yelling at people. He said the moment he got out of the service, he didn't want to yell anymore, and that's where he just went about and became the Bob Ross that we know.
Yeah, who would? I mean, when I first heard it, it was kind of like, what the fuck? But I mean, I guess that's how it is. People
Pat S says like a Zag nut. You remember that candy bar Zag nut?
Oh, Zag nuts, yeah.
That shit is old school as shit. Like Boston baked beans. It's funny. It's funny. They say you go to Boston, you don't even find baked beans.
No.
I remember that shit, but I never liked that Boston baked beans.
Yeah. But it's funny how these are Boston baked beans, but when you go to Boston, you can't find no shit like that.
About 10 miles from my house here, we have a place in Jordan, Minnesota. It's called The Barn, and it's expanded like 3 times now, and all that's in that place is candies from around the world. I mean, you have candies from, of course, your typical American candies in there, and some of the harder ones to find because they're regionals, I can't remember some of the names of them, but they got Japanese candies, they have British candies, they have German candies, they have homemade stuff, they have pop, soda pop from all over the place in there, stuff that's hard to find. This place is a mecca for fat people like me. And if you guys ever come up this way, that'll be the place I take you to. I think they're seasonal though, so they're probably closing up. But coming up here in the summertime, I'll take you guys out there. And they have the place even done up with science fiction. They got a TARDIS in there. They got Star Wars stuff hanging from the. Wow. So these guys are fans. They know. And
right.
Get your real caramel apples over there. Get your apple pie fresh made from their shop. This place is the absolute bomb. So if there's one place that can beat Five Below, it's this place.
Well, it's funny. Yesterday I was talking to Stone Loki. From Loki's Mornings of Mischief. I gave him a call yesterday, and we were talking for a minute. And shout out to Loki's Mornings of Mischief. If you haven't subscribed to him, please check out his channel. Subscribe to him. He's doing some good shit over there. So, I was talking to him, and he had moved out here, back in Houston. So, he lives on the other on the other side of Houston from where I'm at. But he was telling me about a comic book store I never heard of, and he was telling me yesterday this comic book store has a pizzeria inside of it, and a bunch of other shit. And when he told me, he's like, "You look, I'm gonna come by." He's I'm gonna come by, scoop you up, and we're gonna go over there and check it out. And going into a comic book store, he said, "Dude, the back issues, like this motherfucker's a fully loaded comic book store with a pizzeria and some other shit attached to it. So basically you can eat and then go and just take a couple steps and fuck with the comic books, or vice versa."
Smart.
I mean, dude, what I've heard of comic book stores having like a coffee shop added to it, or maybe like an ice cream parlor. But I've never heard anything about a pizzeria added to a comic book store. So it's a comic book store, it's a pizzeria out here in Houston. And that shit kind of, I was like, well, fuck. He was like, yo, man, he told me yesterday, like, yo, matter of fact, I'm gonna have him on the pre-show show this Friday. Cool. So yeah, it'll be me and Loki, if you're working or you got a little time to check it out. We'll be showing off, he's a couple comic books that, that he recently purchased that he was like, yo, it'll be badass to show you, show you and everybody else what I got. And I was like, well, shit, I don't got no new comics, but I got comic books that nobody's never seen. So, I'll be digging through the long boxes and pulling some things. And that way he'll have some shit to show. I have some shit to show. But yeah, man, just to hear that in Houston, that's a little different, man.
That's all. It's like Chuck E. Cheese meets Mile High Comics. It's just
there you go. Oh shit, yeah, there you go. Oh damn.
Yeah, I mean, just Mile High Comics when I was a kid, that was like the Mecca you had to go to. It was like a pilgrimage. Been to it once.
Isn't that in Michigan?
Denver.
Okay.
Denver, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I used to get back issues when I was a kid. That's where I got my Star Wars back issues way back in the day. My parents would mail it, and then all of a sudden the UPS truck comes with this box, and it's like, oh, that's my holy grail. And don't talk to me for a few hours. I'm going to be reading some comics now. So that's
Candace. Oh shit! No, I'm sorry, man. I just saw a comment that this kind of Loose Cannon said. Nah. Loose Cannon 84 says, I still haven't found strawberry shits.
Yeah, I saw
that. Talking about that lawsuit of that lady suing
those
Kellogg.
Yeah,
and we talking about the pop charts with the strawberry shits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go, man.
You might get the strawberry shits eating them, but yeah, there's no
clean you out, that's for sure.
Hey, I tell you what, man, before we continue further, don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but I just want to give a huge shout out to the chat.
Yep.
And I wanted to say, hail to Pat S, hail to the rough girl, McKinney Draws. What's going on? It's funny. I was just watching McKinney's live stream before I didn't know he was here, but I was watching his live stream earlier. So, Sentient Dildo, Loose Cannon 84, my boy Bright as Day. Eastland Burkholder, great to have you here. Low Spec Linux Laptop, appreciate you for being here, my brother. Thank you. Let me see. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, man.
Well, Zach's.
Sentient Dildo. Keely Chow. What's up, Keely Chow? Shit. Roll Tide, Roll Tide.
Zach, we didn't forget you, Zach. He says,
nah. We definitely ain't forgetting Zach's. Nah, I'm just kind of rolling down the Punk Waddle.
Who did great job with that Mexican Iron Man Lego piece, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that on Me. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, held up Parrot Head. What's going on, Parrot Head? Man, shit, man. We got a lot of great people here.
Yeah, we do, man. We do. It's a great great community. As I've
There you go.
I've coined. I stole it, but whatever.
And and
All
the
right.
other day and I just want to bring, because I know Rough Girl, she's served out there. Airborne. I mean, that's crazy right there. I don't understand how anybody can leave a perfectly good airplane while it's in the air, but she did that, obviously. But of course, we had Veterans Day the other day. I just wanted to point out probably one of the best comics that ever came out that had to do with a war comic. And that was Da Nam. That came out back in the 80s, back when they had the big Vietnam resurgence of interest.
Right.
When they decided that Vietnam wasn't a dirty word and that the veterans that served there weren't dirty people. And a lot of comics that went out there, obviously you have the gung ho John Wayne stuff. Then you had the other things that were, this so horrible, like the Deer Hunter and stuff like that, and almost destroying our soldiers. This comic was very realistic across the board. I mean, the series, I say, was realistic for the first 2 years, and they started going Marvel-verse with it. I think the Punisher got involved with the Nam. It's like, okay, no, whatever. But for anybody, if you find these back issues, especially the first 12,
right,
these, if you want to see a good comic about what Vietnam was like, and I got it from several veterans that said so. This is the comic to read out there.
No.
The good, the bad, everything across the board. So I just wanted to go out there. I know it's several days late, but I just wanted to give a thank out to those who have served, especially those who will be in the chat right now that know they're out there, and anybody who might be watching.
Oh yeah, that's what's up, and yeah, that's hail to the veterans out there. And Pat S says, "Make mine Sergeant Rock."
Mm-hmm. Sergeant Rock was great.
Yeah, Sergeant Rock. Yeah, he was. It's Remembrance Day today here, Sentient Dildo. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We learned something. Yeah, and actually, I've heard of Remembrance Day.
Yeah, I didn't know they had it in Croatia. I thought that was like a Canadian thing, or like a few other countries. But I guess maybe it's a few countries do it.
Right.
Shout out to the Croatians who I guess served the Croatian dildos who served.
There you go.
Shout out to them. Salute to them.
Of course, for us, it's and of course for us, it used to be Armistice Day because it was supposed to be for the war that end all wars, which was the biggest lie there was, World War I. So the armistice that was signed on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, which is why we have on November 11th Veterans Day here. It was changed into several years later. So just a little history there for those that might not know. But I think Canada has it as Remembrance Day the same day as well. I could be wrong.
Goose Cannon said we call it the Alliance.
There you go. Yeah, one of you guys came up with Alliance. So yeah, we need to stop saying that. Fellowship. I'm like,
the Fellowship, the Alliance. Yeah, but Goose Cannon calls it the Alliance. There you go. Sentient Dildo said, "Bro, we had a war here 30 years ago. Of course, there's a Remembrance Day." Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, my pastor was in the service as a chaplain at that time in Croatia. So he has stories about that. I mean, he's been all over the place. Actually, he's not my pastor anymore. He moved on to another job recently. But he was in Croatia. He was in, of course, South Korea. Right. Nothing happening there. But he was in Afghanistan and Iraq, all the hot spots there. So it's interesting to hear stories back about being in those places that he was. And he always incorporated a lot of those stories in his sermon to kind of drive that point and kind of make us a little bit aware about the world around us. It's just more than just these 50 states. I mean, how many people, how many people know about Canada, eh? And they're just right to the north of us.
Right.
So
Yeah, I did being in Michigan, but our country does a really good job at hiding the rest of the world from us.
Yeah,
Like
it does.
that's always been something that's always been kind of interesting, especially when I actually start to travel and I realize, oh man, world news is showing stuff that I didn't even know was happening across the planet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just that's one of the blessings of the internet. At least you start getting to see everything around the world a little bit more. It's not as hard, but the powers that be don't like it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. You know, there's a lot of things that that government's been hiding, and I'll give you an example. You look at this, UFO kind of deal. Where they came out recently said that it's true. You got to wonder, why would they come out now when they've always tried to claim that it was something that was fake? It got to be one or two reasons. You're either telling us that it's real to keep us more wanting to stay in the house, kind of deal. Of course, they they got this COVID. They got they got the whole thing with the jab and everything. Like if it's the boogeyman, and now if it gets to the point where we're looking up at at the sky and we have we thinking twice about what's going on, then guess what? There's aliens out there in existence. So that makes you want to stay in the house even more. So you don't know if it's something as like you don't know if it's a fear tactic or if it's something really coming our way.
And they gotta let us know.
No, to the point where if there's something really coming our way that they're like, fuck, man. Might as well tell them, because whatever's gonna happen, it's like, or basically like they know something that we don't know, and they just gotta tell us, because for the simple fact that it's something that they won't be able to control once it gets here.
Yeah.
So basically, the cat's gonna be out the cat's gonna be out of the bag regardless.
Well, when it comes, sorry.
No, I'm not. My bad. All I was saying is you just don't know if it's a fear tactic or if it's something that they have to tell us because there's something coming our way that they can't control, and you might as well just agree to say, hey, you know what, it exists, and fucking trying to treat everybody like if the shit's been fake, like they've been doing for like the last 70 years.
Well, the one thing the government.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I think it's the latter, because the Space Force came out a few years ago, and I'm like, why the fuck do we need a Space Force? You know what I mean? It just seemed curious that they even existed. It's like, what if they know something? I mean,
right.
From what we know, unless they have light speed travel, or maybe they do, but like it takes a while for something to move through space. You know what I mean? So if you see something that's 4 or 5 years off, but you know where it's going because you know how the aliens work, you might have to start putting in, preparations for whatever the hell's gonna get here. Or like you said, it could be bullshit, it could be fear tactics. But the only reason I don't think it's fear tactics because if it was, they'd be pushing it everywhere. You would be seeing this. It would be lead the charge. It would, jab and make sure you watch out for the aliens. That's how the news reports would go. So they're not really trying to scare us with it. Who knows? I guess that's the fun in it. But it is interesting that they're talking about it now.
Well, when it comes around also to the third point, or third possibility is, the government never wants to admit that there's something out there they cannot explain. Any government. And it could go, basically, they don't want people to think that there's something they don't know about, because they, you have to trust them impeccably. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, whether our government, or even more so with regimes like Korea and also Cuba, the old Soviet Union, probably even Putin himself. The fact that there are things out there that, they don't know what it is. They cannot explain. There are certain phenomenons out there that cannot be explained yet, and they don't want to admit that, which is one of the reasons why they say, it's swamp gas or this, or come up with some BS answer. But the thing is just like us, they don't know. I think I told you about this, 24, about my UFO encounter that I had. It was nothing spectacular. It's nothing wow. It was just me driving home from work, and I was driving down into the Minnesota River Valley in our town here. And I always being someone who worked in the airlines and been around air shows and stuff like that, my eyes always kind of keep up to the into the sky a little bit, especially with the fact that we have a little airport nearby that has old warbirds that occasionally flies around, and I love watching them. And I'm just driving along, and as I'm looking in the air, it's like, oh, that's kind of an odd thing. Is that birds? What? It doesn't look familiar. And as I'm getting around, I'm able to count while driving, trying to watch at the same time, 5 objects in the sky, and they're round, ballish-looking things with like little, for lack of a better word, antennae, and they're black. And the first thing that comes to mind, working in the airlines, they look like a Fokker F-27 engine extinguisher, which of course nobody understands what I'm saying there. But there's just a brown black ball with 2 little spikes. I'm watching it, and it's like 4 in a row. Then there was one off to the side that was kind of between the middle 2 as they're flying along in the sky. And yeah, they duck in, they duck out, this and that. But I'm watching, and all of a sudden they just turned white, no flash, no nothing, just turned white and disappeared. And it's like, okay, what was that? I mean, for me, it's a UFO. It's unidentified. I don't know if that was little green men from outer space. I don't know if it's an interdimensional thing hopping in, or maybe it was just my imagination. I mean, I don't know if I was drinking that day or not.
I don't think it was your imagination.
No, and I don't think it was either. It was just too vivid from what I was watching. And I even contacted MUFON. MUFON said, yeah, this is a very credible case. Never did get a chance to talk to the guy, though. But, they said, yeah, this is a very credible sighting he had. So I don't know what it is. And I have a sneaky feeling if he had an actual investigator back in the days, which was Project Blue Book, or any of the other X-File type that might be running around today, they wouldn't have an answer to, and they don't like it. It frightens them even more because they're the power. And now here's something floating around showing that they have power over them. The Cold War was all about power play. All these other little standoffs we have is power play. And here's something they just can't do a power play with because they don't know what the rules are or what the heck this is. And I think that's the third possibility you have going out there. They might not know, and they're just as frightened. They're just as frightened.
Cinch Dildo thought he saw aliens, but didn't realize acid was starting to kick in. So thank you for that, Cinch Dildo. And my man Loose Cannon, shout out to Loose Cannon, say he saw a UFO in Chicago. Yeah, millions or hundreds of thousands of people at O'Hare Airport did as well. They saw a fucking UFO over O'Hara, and it just unified. It was a disc-shaped object. There's another one in Japan. They found a disc-shaped object. These sightings are not, farcical, and I'm not sure what's being floated up by Baron Orman Tag. Is that V for Vendetta? Or is that V? Just V. That's V. Oh, the alien one. Just V. Shout out to V. And I hate to do this, but I actually have to dip out a little early. So I really, really hate doing this. But I do have to dip out now. So I hate to do I probably should have said something. I did say something in the chat, but I should have I didn't realize how everything worked out. So I will be watching. I might be in the chat. If I could try to join mobily, I'll try to join mobily.
Sure.
But I gotta get out of here, and I hate doing it. I love doing the show, and I love you guys. So I'll see you guys later, man.
Love you too, right, brother. And I'm still going to talk about that subject we were talking about before the show.
Okay.
So just let you know.
Okay. Cool. All right. Peace, guys.
All right.
Take care, bro. And then there was 2.
There you go, man.
Who did it? The butler did it. And yeah, so I mean that's how it goes in my opinion on that one. But and I want to segue a little bit also, because we're talking about algorithms and this and that and the twatter and fake book and such like that. And I know you had nothing knowledge about this, but somebody on Twitter made a fake account for Bounding into Comics.
Right.
I mean, they made the thing look exactly like Bounding into Comics. The only difference is of course, you have the @ sign, and then instead of Bounding Comics, they had Bounding Commies. And then they put this fake BS thing out about that Star Wars girl. Now, I don't know that Star Wars girl. I don't know her personally. I've watched her, and of course, my anger about this is, I mean, that Star Wars girl, I watch her. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's spunky. She doesn't take any crap.
Right.
So she can defend herself. The thing
Right.
that irritated me the most was how this was done, because they went out there and made themselves look like another entity, like
Right.
exactly, and then said, "Oh, I'm parody." And it's like, no, that's not parody. That is not a parody. Open up an issue of Mad Magazine or Cracked or something like that. That's parody. You know, you still do something to change the name enough instead of being bounding into comics, have it bounding out of comics. Then someone can figure out that, okay, you're not that same entity. Change your graphics a little bit to show that it's not exactly the same. But you were actually trying to pass yourself off legitimately as another person and started to smear and slander that Star Wars girl.
Right.
Now, she can defend herself. I mean, I'm not so yeah, I upset that one after, but it's like, she can do it. She'll take care of herself. I've heard her. It's like, okay, we'll just stand back and enjoy the show. But what they did was absolutely, I think, atrocious. Who the schmuck is, and I don't do anything about reporting anybody at all. But this was probably the first time I ever reported anybody because of that. You're passing yourself off as somebody else. It's like someone trying to pass themselves off as you. They're going to be basically giving you a bad name.
Right.
This is giving Bounty in the Comics a bad name. Whether you like them or not, it's going to give them a bad name. So that's what we were kind of talking about a little bit there pre-show. I know you said you didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing about that.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, and a lot of the other people going over there, and then I saw that with VW put on there. And as I sat back and said that, if this was an actual business, they would have sued and won in a heartbeat. It's like if you're trying to do that same thing with Disney, and whether you like Disney or not, they would have won, and you would have to side with them. You have to be fair and honest about that. So I hope that guy gets his handed to him. Severely. So, and I don't know if Twitter did anything. They should. I mean, they go after people for less. I hope they go after this guy fully. I mean,
man, I tell you, like I said, I had no idea. That Star Wars girl. I'm gonna tell you, the first time that she kind of came into my sphere of things, excuse me, was when the Rise of The Last Jedi came out, and people were basically creating their rant videos. That's how people knew who Jesse Milestone was. A lot of other YouTubers, and during The Last Jedi, that's when people saw Anna, that Star Wars girl, for the first time, and she did a epic rant. And but you got to understand, that's how many years? Almost 3, going on 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah.
And she did this epic rant, and at that point, people were telling Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, "Hey, check her out, check her out, check her out." So he did, and he ended up bringing Anna, that Star Wars girl. She used to be a part of Geeks and Gamers.
Yep.
And at that same time, Jesse Milestone, that's over there with Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. That's how people found out who Jesse Milestone was.
Okay.
So it's like, to be honest, the Last Jedi was a birth of a lot of channels, and if not the birth, it was where channels that have just, that were newer, basically became a household name after people watching them do their rants. And I remember Anna being one of those people, man. And she's awesome, man. Like I was watching her recently, looking like Rogue from the X-Men. And when she did that video, I was like, damn, that was pretty good, man. She killed this. She actually looked like Rogue. She looked more like Rogue than the chick that was Rogue in the X-Men movies.
Oh, because let's face it, the fanboys, fangirls, well, I don't want to call them fanboy, fangirls because that's a bad word for me, but the fans do it better. The cosplayers do it better. They do. They have that love. They know they get into that part, and there's a furry worm in the air. Get that out of there. Get out of there. Get that. That's my cat.
No, you good.
The fur work. But I mean, there's that passion, there's that love behind it, and they want to try to sit back and say, "Oh, we can't do this for technical reasons, this and that." It's like, dude, please. You got people walking around a convention all freaking day, sometimes in the heat, wearing these outfits, and they're having no problem at all, and they're not having restrictive movements. Don't tell me you can't do it. That's just a bunch of BS across the board. And,
it was.
Yeah, I mean. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
Oh, but I was just going to say, it's kind of funny. I think The Last Jedi was that straw that finally broke all of our backs.
Right,
I mean,
it was.
We put up with the Force Awakens. We could, okay, okay, blah blah. Maybe this next one will be better. Maybe they're just trying to get up to speed, and this next one comes out, and then we saw the contempt, and then of course Discovery, STD, and the contempt they have with that, and Gutter Decks and Puke Hard. I mean, these shows that, people who should know better, like Patrick Stewart and John Frakes, and I'm not even going to bring up that woman's name, especially after what she said about Texas.
Right. Yeah.
But all of obviously with how she sat back and shooting her mouth off about it, you can tell these people have no love at all and no respect even for their own creations that they have.
Right.
And I think I think The Last Jedi was the thing that finally broke our back. It finally pissed us all off enough that we just came out of the woodwork. And I don't think they can handle that. They try to say a lot of stuff here and there, but we're growing. We are.
Yeah, we are.
People are remembering what we've had. And, coming up and showing off some of these old comics. And yeah, it's us showing off, hey, look at this great comic I have from Dark Horse Comics and such. But it's also reminding what we had. This is what we had. And it starts, let's get that fire going. Let's remember the stories that are out there. And yeah, we had crap stories. I'm not saying that there wasn't down moments back then. There wasn't bad stories or issues. But I mean, overall, when we were quick to critique it, we weren't like this batch of zombies where if it's got the name on, Star Trek, it's all good. Nothing goes wrong with that. Oh, it's Star Wars. Nothing goes wrong with that.
Right.
We old fans, we went after the Crystal Star with Star Wars. We went after Hammer and Tongs, episodes of Star Trek. Spock's brain. Let this be your own battlefield. I mean, in the day, you should have heard us going after our own stuff. Star Trek V, for crying out loud. We didn't go out there and imagine that all our stuff didn't smell. We knew we had some stinkers out there,
right?
But we knew that overall we had a great thing. These people can't even get beyond that. You have Mikey Spock pointing a phaser at herself. And it's like, oh, this is great and wonderful. Too bad she didn't pull the trigger. And we had the show done. Boom, it's over with. Severed baby heads of Klingon. What the hell? And you're going to tell me this is good. This is top quality entertainment. Right. That's why I have Pluto, not Dish. That's why I have Pluto, Shout Factory, and not Netflix. That is why I have Tubi instead of whatever other services. These are free and they're showing me some good stuff.
Oh yeah, the let me see the free channels. You have Tubi. There's quite a few of them, and actually, it's funny that you say that because at this moment I can't think of not a one.
Well, Shout Factory is the other one. That's out there. That's
I didn't know. I didn't know Shout Factory had a channel.
Yeah, they have an app out there. So, and they also have a channel on the Pluto TV. So that's where
Pluto,
you get if you like. Right.
Pluto.
If you like Mystery Science Theater 3000, if you like riff tracks, Cinema Titanic, so all that riffing stuff, they got it. You can sit down and watch that. If you like the old Jerry Anderson Space 1999,
I love those.
Yeah, it's on there. They talk about the puppet shows.
Yeah, Space 1999. Isn't that with Walter Landau?
Yep. Walter Landau, and then Barbara Bain.
I know, man.
And the predecessor show UFO, that's on there. I mean,
Oh,
honest to Pete.
UFO was so good too. Oh man, I love the theme music to both of them.
Yo, they're wild. They're insane. It's like, what
Yeah.
the hell is this? But you know what? It works. It works. So just a second here.
No.
I have to feed a puppy.
No, go ahead. Do your thing, man.
And I'm back. All I have to do is that, and hopefully she'll eat my Dachshund of Doom, my toothless Dachshund of Doom. So, I mean, so you have that Shelf Factory. They even got movies on there. I mean, if you want to see for free A Boy and His Dog, the Harlan Ellison movie that was based off the Harlan Ellison story, it's on there. They even have interview with him and the director on there. So they all across the board. And it's free, FRWE. And they have the channel on the Pluto. They got the Rift tracks and they got the MST3K on there. What do you need more of? They got the Star Trek channel on there on Pluto. They have, if you like the game shows, they got the old classic game shows.
Right. Like what's that? The one with the whammies.
Oh yeah. Press your luck.
Press your luck. Yeah, they got all they have all kind of shit. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
mistake.
And of course my my favorite, of course, was Match Game. No, that was always when I was a kid growing up. When you got sick, that's the one you watched.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
You don't have never. Oh, you've been deprived of Match Game. Get yourself Pluto. Watch that channel. Gene Rayburn. Gene Rayburn was the host, and you had 6 celebrities: Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley, and then for several years it was Richard Dawson. There were the three panels that they had on there. Then they had they circled out several celebrities as every week as they went along there. So you see Gary Berghoff on there, or you see all across the board. I mean, it doesn't matter. You sit back and say, "Hey, I know Betty White's on there, Fannie Flagg's on there." All that stuff, and it's like watching time capsules. And when I was growing up in the summertime, my babysitter, she loved watching CBS, so she watched her soaps. But then they had, of course, Price is Right, Match Game, all these other shows. So I stayed around for that. Game. Yep,
man, it's crazy. The chat is fucking jumping, man. Loose Cannon said Martin Landau, yeah. Martin Landau, his laptop. Yeah, Low Spec Lennox laptop says A Boy and His Dog is great.
It is. Yeah, that's a wild story. Even though there's controversy about the last line in the movie. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. But, read the short story if you can find it. And, of course, watch that movie. It's a wild post-apocalyptic trip, I tell you.
Zach says, does Pluto have Don Lemon?
And to answer Cynthia Dildo there, off the topic, did I watch Foundation? No, because I don't have what was it? Is that on Apple, the Apple service?
Oh yeah,
I don't pay for it.
Yeah,
I
Apple.
don't pay for it.
Yeah, actually, there's a few things on Apple I do want to see, man.
Mm-hmm. But I never had. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say Apple TV, man. They started releasing this new Charlie Brown and Snoopy shows. Yeah, man. And I'll tell you like this, man. When it comes to Charlie Brown and Snoopy, out of all the old cartoons that I've seen, it's something about Charlie Brown and Snoopy that has like a real special place, man. I mean, with the holiday specials, even with their they used to have like the Peanuts Gang series. I mean, it's just a lot of real cool shit, man, with Charlie Brown and Snoopy. The wildest thing I've ever seen him be a part of was that MetLife, talking about life insurance and shit like that. But other than that, like, Snoopy's not woke, man. And out of all the things that I've seen happen with a lot of cartoons,
and,
I can honestly say that Charlie Brown and Snoopy and the Peanuts Gang.
It was gentle.
I got a lot of love and respect for that, man.
Yeah. It was gentle without being dumbed down. There was a lot of intelligence because, you had Charles Schultz involved with it. He made sure he was involved in all that in the day. And let's face it, the guy was smart. The guy was very smart, and he knew what things should be. And he used that intelligence in there without being preachy, without being, I'm smarter than you. And it hit everybody across the board. And the other wild thing was the Dolly Madison commercials that they had, because they were always sponsored by Dolly Madison when that was around before they got bought out by Hostess. So it's like, I always associated Peanuts with Dolly Madison, and then of course now MetLife, but all across the board.
It's funny. Loose Cannon says the Penis Gang. Ascension Dildo says I don't have Apple either, but I still watch it. Yeah, when it comes, like I say, when it comes to Peanuts and Snoopy and everything else, man, that's one of the last things that haven't been dumbed down and it hasn't been screwed with yet. And hopefully, hopefully the Schultz family won't allow for all this, this current day of thinking to change basically change the foundation of what Charlie Brown is.
Mm-hmm. But when it comes around the foundation, even if I could watch it for free, I don't think I would, because I read the book several years ago. I probably should sit down and read it again. The first 3 books of Foundation are fantastic science fiction. If I was to introduce someone who did not know science fiction, wanted to be introduced to science fiction,
right?
The first book I would introduce them to was I, Robot by Isaac Asimov.
Right.
Because he's one of those that was very intelligent, writes very intelligent, but not like I'm smarter than you, but you don't feel dumb watching.
Right.
The Foundation series, which beat out the Lensman series for best science fiction series.
Right.
I personally think the Lensman should have gotten it. Because of what happened later on, because when Isaac Asimov came back writing Foundation with the prequels and all that, and of course a couple books to follow through there, he lost touch. It was not the same. But those first books, Foundation Empire, and Second Foundation, are just absolutely spectacular science fiction. And I don't think there's anybody in Hollywood that has even one brain cell that can comprehend what he was doing in that at all. One absolute proof of that is I, Robot, the movie with Will Smith. I absolutely refuse to even want to see that film because I know how bad they bastardized that film. And I read the script for the original treatment that they had for I, Robot back in the late 70s.
Right.
And which was done by Harlan Ellison and highly approved by Isaac Asimov. I mean, didn't follow the book. Again, it was an adaptation, so it's not going to be mirror by mirror.
Right.
There's going to be some licenses, but were the licenses done right? Were they done properly? Were they done with respect? Which obviously Harlan would. He's good friends with Isaac. He wouldn't have screwed around.
Right.
And reading that book, that script, how that now that you have Dune coming out and this new movie, which is definitely not your typical science fiction film, this I, Robot would have been the same way, and I would still love to see this somehow brought to film. We're being cheated big time, and it's the studios that are stupid, and because they're stupid, they think we're stupid. It's just enough said right there. I don't know.
No. I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at the chat and I'm thinking about what you're saying, because you have a few people that were agreeing with you.
I saw that there.
Loose,
and Bradbury. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Loose Cannon was like, yes, Baron. And then Loose Cannon said Bradbury too.
And Bradbury had at least one thing working for him. When they started doing the Ray Bradbury theaters and such like that, he was involved in it. So they didn't destroy his work.
Right.
I think about the worst that destroyed his work with was the Martian Chronicle miniseries he did in the 70s. But that was made up with his various shows. They had Ray Bradbury shows where they took segments of the Martian Chronicles and did that in there. Little pieces for those shows. It's like, well, this is from Martian Chronicles. Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, they're doing a lot better job than they did with that miniseries. Even though he had a spectacular cast and all that, I think that was just a little bit too much beyond them for that miniseries. But Bradbury's another one, definitely, to introduce somebody to science fiction. It's kind of. I was actually going to talk about this in one of my videos, but here's a sneak peek. I worked with somebody, and he said, "Yeah, I tried getting you're into science fiction, right?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I'm science fiction." I tried getting into science fiction, but I couldn't get into it. I sat back and started reading *The Stranger from a Strange Land*. It's like, dude, please. Those of us in science fiction with that book have a hard time as well. This is not a good book starting out,
right,
at all. That was definitely highline on, I don't know if he was tripping acid or what when he did that book, but talk about a man who you could follow his thought, his change of thought through the ages to his
right.
books. It's like, okay, what year did this book come out with? This is the high line that we're dealing with here, for one. But when you have that Stranger from a Strange Land, that's just okay. I don't care what era that is. This is just, let's drop some acid and read the book. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and Loose Cannon also said Gross. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gross.
No, I'm not familiar with that one. I have to confess. I'm not too beyond admitting the holes in my my knowledge, which there are a lot of.
Yeah, and he also said he thought AI was a great movie.
Yeah, that was one of those strange films because that started out as a Stanley Kubrick film, but then Stanley died, and then Steven Spielberg took over. So that was one of those strange movies in that aspect of behind the scenes development hell, or what do you want to call that on there.
Right. Then the chat was also talking about spending money on physical media, and they were talking about buying records.
Gross.
Yeah. Then Punk Waddle said, "Sentient Dildo, I stopped collecting vinyl as much as I used to, especially now that I'm not in a bigger city. But I used to get a lot of used stuff and some newer albums as well." And Punk Waddle also said, Zach said, "At Punk Waddle, I'll buy multiple copies of stuff I love."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like that too, man. I mean, if there's something that I enjoy, I have it. Might have like two of, and if it comes out like on different. Give an example. I would buy, let's say if I had Isaac Hayes. If it feels Isaac Hayes and it was a certain album, I'd buy two of those. But then if I also saw it on CD, I'd get that too. So it's like, yeah, and I mean it could be the same thing, it could be something different, but I'm the same way that when it comes to like physical media, shit, like I'll give an example. Disney's The Black Hole.
Oh yeah.
I would sit there and I would get it on VHS. I have two copies on DVD, and it never made it to Blu-ray.
It needs to.
Yeah, it needs to.
It really does.
And it needs to. But but that's the thing. It's like I'm the same way. Bachelor Party, two copies of. There's just certain things that I have more than one copy. Star Wars, I got more than one copy of Star Wars. Another thing would be Caddyshack. I got more than one copy of Caddyshack. There's something about it that I always keep a copy with me, and I'll keep one in storage. That way I can have one to watch, and if something happens, I have a backup one, in storage. So there, there's a lot of things, and on different levels when it comes to music. Always vinyl and CDs, man. And I do have an 8-track player, so I would fuck with 8-tracks. And I love 45s. So, I have two brothers. I have two brothers that were DJs. One was a DJ with vinyl. The other one's a DJ, like a newer style DJ that has like the two. You basically would mix like CDs and shit like that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. That was. To me, that was a little different, but I definitely understand. So I'm a huge believer, as you can see, in physical media. I'm putting my wall back up, so it'll be done probably the next day or two. But I mean, dude, I mean, when it comes to movies, like for instance, this is the news that I've seen lately. This is getting redone.
I know. I heard that. Why? Why? I know why. They have no ideas.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, they say Hollywood is creatively bankrupt, but just the simple fact that you'd want to do this is Sam Elliott, Patrick Swayze. I'm gonna tell you something about this movie. When it comes to being a bouncer, and I was a bouncer for 12 years. Now, when it came to being a bouncer, a real bouncer would have watched this movie. Why? Because the fundamentals of how to handle a person and handle a crowd is heavily explained in this movie. And that's the thing. Fighting is always the last resort. Like, you know, you have a lot of people that work security or you know, that were bouncers. A lot of them either got their ass whooped, some of them have been shot and killed. And the reason why is because the way they handled the customer, or you know, the patron, the person that was in there was always a better way of handling somebody, even if the person that you're handling had fucked up. Maybe they were too drunk, this and that. But if your first resort in handling somebody, if you're working security or you're a bouncer, is to automatically just whip their ass, a motherfucker will go back to the, you know, yeah, if you whip the ass and the police didn't pick them up and you allowed them to leave, the first thing they'll do, they'll go home to get the gun, or this is Texas, they'll fucking pop the trunk, pull the gun out, and fuck it. Dude, you know how bouncers have died? You know, people that work security have died out here in Houston or in Texas, period. And, you know, it's for the simple fact that they never, you know, they were never taught how to respect the customer. Look, whenever there's a confrontation at the club when I was a bouncer, the first thing they say is try to break the people apart. Try to grab somebody that's the most sensible one and say, hey, you know, the first thing you do is you say, hey, man, it's too loud in here. Can you come talk to me outside? And you diffuse it by taking one of the people outside, and the other one, if they're fucking ripping and roaring, you have the other people that work with you to try to calm them down. But the first thing that you do not do is beat their ass. So when it comes to even people, you know, and that's the thing, everybody's been drinking. Motherfuckers are drunk. And that's why if you work security, you're never supposed to go to work drunk.
No.
Like, I love to drink. And then being drunk, that's no problem. But when I work security, that is not the thing you want to do. Why? Because you want to have all your senses intact when you're trying to assess a situation so that you don't fucking make a mistake that might cost you your life later.
Exactly.
So it's like when you're a bouncer and you work security, you have to sit there and you have to assess the shit, and you have to think, that could be me pissed off about something. How would I like somebody to treat me? And would I want somebody for their first instinct in dealing with me is to try to beat my ass?
Right. I mean, I've not done as long as you have, but I did do some bouncing for my cousin's bar in the heart here of beautiful downtown Chaska. But the big important thing is de-escalation.
Right.
You got to de-escalate it somehow.
Right.
And you know, if it does mean you kind of have to dance with the guy and dance him outside with the friend and say, hey, cool him down.
Right.
You know, maybe you should go home or whatever, but, you know, just, you know, make sure that, you know, we don't want anybody hurt here.
Right.
You know, because, you know, yeah, you could have pounded the daylights out of him in there and have him walk, you know, piled out there like Beetle Bailey after Sarge hit him. But you don't want that. That gives your establishment a bad name. It gives you a bad name. And again, someone's going to be gunning for you. They've had their, for some of these people, they've been emasculated in front of everybody. They want to show that they're still a man, and someone's going to be crazy enough to want to try to do something even worse. De-escalation, at least they don't feel that way. And yeah, you're right. Roadhouse did that. And I think that was one of the big things he was talking about there. You want to de-escalate this. You don't want this to go beyond.
True. You know, and my golden rule was everybody should be able to go home the way they came to the club, and that was in one piece, man.
Right.
That was my golden rule. And it is funny because when you watch Roadhouse, they speak on the fundamentals of how that should go and how that should work, and how, you know, it's like de-escalating and basically talking the person down and try to get a sense of understanding of what is making them upset. And even if you have to send them home, you say, hey, man, you're not banned from here. Just go home, man. Take it easy. Yeah. You know, sleep this shit off. You know, I'm sorry that you're upset and whatever the fuck happened. You know, if there's something that we can do on our end, we'll make it right. But if it's all about like a fight or some shit, hey, man, go home, get you some rest, man. You can come back tomorrow and come kick it, dog. The doors are open. You're not banned or nothing. Just for tonight, man. Do me a favor and just go home, man, and just chill. Right. And and when people can see that you're sincere and you're real about it, they're like, yeah, man, this night has been a little too much. Maybe I do need to go home. And the fact that they're welcome to come back, they don't take it personal.
Right. You're having a friendly heart to heart.
Shit, man. There was so much shit to being a bouncer, man. It's like you have to sit there, I mean, dude, I'll be honest, man. I was a bouncer at a strip club. And it's funny, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. It took for me to be a bouncer at a strip club. It took for me to get hired at a strip club in order for me to walk my 2 feet into a strip club. It took for me to be employed before that. That was the first time I ever walked into a strip club when I got hired to work there, to be the bouncer. And the worst thing that I've done up there that I felt bad about, man, was there was these 2 chicks. They were fighting. It was a butt naked club. The only thing these chicks had were their fucking shoes, man. And yeah, man, that it out here in Texas and Houston, they call them the buck naked. So you go there, they'll come out and they might have like a little top and some panties, but that shit is gone in a few minutes after they're dancing and they're climbing up and down the fucking poles and shit like that and doing their thing. And all of a sudden at the end, all they have is their fucking shoes on, man. That's it, man. And even some of them, they kick the shoes off and they're fucking barefoot and they're naked, man. And one night, man, these 2 chicks, they got into a fight over some fucking money, because there were both of them were dancing at the same time on the same stage, and that's not good. If that's not a real fucking friend of yours, and she trusts you, because the whole thing, it's all a money game. So basically, whether they're topless or not, everybody wants to get paid. And one chick thought the other was stealing from her. So they get into a big fight, and I had to grab one of them and fucking throw her out of the club at like 3-4 in the morning. And it was pretty fucked up, man. I had to throw her out, and yeah, I'm picking her up. Yeah, I got hands full of ass and hands full of tits, and I'm grabbing this chick. But but she's trying to fight somebody else, and I had to, the owner was like, "Hey, get her the fuck out of here." So I had to pick this chick up, take her out to the back door, and I didn't throw her on the floor. I put her down, but I couldn't let her back in. All she had was her fucking shoes on, man.
Wow.
So that was the thing about me having to put, it was my job to put this chick out. But she was ass naked, man. I had to tell one of the other bouncers, yo, man, after a few minutes, man, go grab her fucking clothes, man, so she can have something to wear, so she's not fucking out here ass naked with just some shoes on.
Right.
So that was like the only morally thing that fucked with me about being a bouncer at a strip club, man. And after that, I've never, after that job was done, I've never done that again, man. But that was the thing that had me, conflicted when it came to that. So
understandable. I mean, it's like,
confession.
Okay, she's out there. Yeah, that's kind of. Sometimes you get put in those hard spots, even when you're not being a bouncer. I mean, it's like, what the hell do I do now? It's like,
yeah.
I think it's like, how did I get here? What did I do? What turn did I make wrong? What little imps did I piss off this morning? That this is all happening to me.
It's I'm over here just reading some of the chat, man.
I know I've been seeing something there.
Yeah, it's like Loose Cannon was like, she caresses my neck and then she gives me a frisbee. Oh shit, yeah, man. I mean, dude, I've done a few things, man. Had some jobs, and yeah, but that's like I said, that was the most that was the thing that I did that I didn't agree with, man. And it was the fact that the chick, she wouldn't even stop. Like basically when the other chick was like, yo, try to explain it, and the other chick was like, I'm gonna fucking beat you, and then she kept trying to attack, and it was, all of a sudden it was like, damn, we telling you to chill, but you won't, man. Get her the fuck out of here.
Don't anybody ever tell me that women are much kinder and gentler and less violent than men. That's bull.
Well, you know,
I
it
can
was,
assure you.
yeah, it was, you know, black strip club, you know, and the people were, you know, the chicks were, if something happens to them, you know, they want to, I'll cut a bitch up, you know, that kind of stupid shit. So it's like, you
Well,
know, like, damn.
And the funny thing is, I wasn't even associated with an ethnic group with that because
Right.
I've
No.
been
I
around
mean,
where
it was
I know,
just, no, it was
but when
just,
in
no, I
yeah,
understand. I was just saying, like, it was just what
oh
I was
yeah,
fooling with,
but
man. So,
yeah, all I want to sit back and say is, you got, it doesn't matter what ethnicity it is. When you come
right.
around to a strip joint like that or anything in that industry, you might say, oh, they'll go after each other. You think they're all friends? It ain't the case.
Nah,
They're in competition, and they feel that you've stepped over, one of the other ones stepped over the line. They're going to go after you.
right.
And it's not an ethnicity thing. It is just the industry thing. It is
Nah,
cutthroat big time.
yeah, I already know. Nah, it was just, it was just a mad chick, man, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, it was just, yeah, I know anybody has a capability of causing a
Oh, yeah.
ruckus,
Yeah.
but it was just the fact that, you know, it was more in the temperament to just be that way, man, and just, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you can see
Yeah.
it, man. It was raw, and all kind of, you know, cursing and acting stupid and throwing glass at each other, and, you know,
Oh,
doing everything to hurt each other. It was just like, it was some shit, and they were like, man, get her the fuck out of here. So it's like,
was this a booze joint? Did they have alcohol?
yeah.
Okay.
So
See,
they
it's
had
kind of funny.
alcohol. You know, people were smoking, you know, weed in that shit. You know, the
Oh,
owners
really?
were letting a lot of extra shit go down. There were
Mm-hmm.
private rooms, and yeah, man, it was just a lot, man. It was just a lot going on. You know, seeing pimps in there, and, you know, like, you know, there were pimps and some of their, their hoes were the ones dancing. So yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you're not, basically, if you're not fucking somebody to make money, you might as well be dancing and try to make some money that way.
Right.
You
And
know, so yeah,
pick up somebody. Because up here, and I mean, I think the laws haven't changed at all. If you're going to have an alcohol at the establishment, it can only be topless. If you want full, they have to be behind glass.
right.
And so there are a lot of clubs, because they want to have full naked. They have no alcohol at the
Well, you
place.
know, well,
They
you,
don't want.
well, you know, the thing is, the stage was only maybe 3 feet high,
Mhm.
and you can actually touch. There were people that would sit there and touch and you know, do all kinds of other shit, and it was, so basically it was very hands on. But once it got a little too frisky, hey dog, or the girl didn't like it, then, you know, but you got people touching when they're trying to put dollars in their
Right.
panties and all this other shit, and then, you know, like, you have somebody like Drake that'll come in. And, you know, even after, they say the day after the whole Astroworld thing, he went to a strip club and basically
Yeah.
blew $1 million.
Holy cow.
Look, Drake, after, look, the thing is, that night and the next morning, you get out of what happened out here in Houston, you get to hear of all the shit,
Yeah.
people dying and the whole Astroworld event. They say that was on a Friday. They say Saturday night, Drake was at the strip club. I mean, it
No,
was fucking, so, you
that whole story is getting weirder and weirder and more disturbing every day. It seems like it's been. Well, we talked about this last week a little bit, and it was already a couple days old, because I know you talked about it on the pre-show 2 weeks ago, big time.
yeah,
I think you did. And I saw one of the videos where bringing out one of the ladies that was in there, and they're bringing it over the barricade, and they dropped the thing. She's dropped
yeah,
literally on her
and
head.
actually, and that's the one, that lady that they dropped.
Yeah,
That's the ninth person that died.
I was wondering if that was her.
That was
I
her.
was going to ask you. Okay,
That was
and
her, man.
it's like, it's a good thing she was wearing like the undergarments, because those have been flopping out there and having more embarrassment to the whole situation. Of course, now unfortunately she's passed. It's like, what the hell? You're dropping people on their head.
Right.
This whole thing, people are sitting back saying that the guards were drugged.
Yeah,
And
it was all kind of there was all kind of weird stuff going on with that, man. I'm just and, as the
there,
days rolled, you get to hear more stuff about it. But yeah,
people,
it was
jail time. People should be put in jail for this. Absolutely.
Well, you know, they're starting to have to where the lawsuits are over 100 now. It was only 19, now it's over 100 and counting. So hopefully they come in big, they come in strong, and you know, at the end, all I want to see is justice served, man. So
that's all I want. Yeah, I mean, justice needs to be served in this whole situation. I mean, I just hope we don't get the money grubbers coming out there. That's the only purpose is, oh, we're going to get money. No, I want justice. People who did suffer, they need to get their money, obviously. People that, lost lives there, they need to, obviously you can't compensate for a life. There's no monetary amount, but there's still got to be something that is, given forth to help the families through this, especially the fact that they're, putting someone into the grave from this event that they let go.
Yeah, matter of fact, Saturday they had a few burials from that.
Yeah,
just this past Saturday. So, and then and the other folks will be buried, between now and next weekend. So, it's very unfortunate. Things are still being found out. But yeah, man, just know that Drake went to the strip club the next day.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, there's no way in hell, because I found out what happened the next morning, and that shit blasted Houston television, Houston news. So just to know that it went out like that, how can Drake not know the next day that the concert he fucking performed in, folks passed, folks died, and all of a sudden he's at the strip club fucking throwing dollars at everybody and all this bullshit. Man,
this shows quality of character. This shows the quality of character. And there is no quality of character with this guy. Really. There is no quality to it if he's going out there that way. Yeah. Is there any feeling about what happened? And if you're going to the strip club the next day, dropping how much again was it he dropped?
I think he dropped $1 million. Yeah,
really?
when I looked at it, it wasn't. He dropped 50,000, or they say he dropped $1 million, like at the strip club. Basically, they took a picture from from up high. It must have been a 2-story club, because they were able to take a picture down below. You saw fucking money all over the place. All you saw was money. You couldn't even see the fucking floor. So at that point, it was like,
we are living in clown world.
Yeah,
this is clown world. I mean, obviously. I mean, even in the most Gomorrah era of the 50s and 60s, and let's face it, things did get to slouching towards Gomorrah back then. People had a little more compassion, a little more whatever in those days. You wouldn't have had. There have been someone at least coming by saying, even if they wanted to go out and pull a stunt like that, they would have been grabbed and said, no. Stay low for a few days, let it ride out, don't do anything. It's like, where's the handlers? These people don't have handlers.
Right. Thing is, man, Travis Scott is completely at fault, man. He's the one, what he does, and there's video recordings of him doing this and saying this, where he'll sit there and say, hey, man, don't worry about security, bypass them, come up here, because basically there's always a gap between the stage and the audience. And what he tells them is, hey, don't even worry about that shit. I need you guys up front and center. So, and when any and everybody that thinks that, he's talking to you, and telling everybody come up there, dog, people don't go up there fast enough. Some people get trampled over, people get squished. Dog, you talking about 50,000 people in a place, that wasn't built to hold all of that. Right. And everything, that happened from it. I mean, I've dropped so many videos on that shit, man, already. I think I've dropped like anywhere between 8 to 10 videos so far. And there's many more to come, because there's a lot more shit happening, and it's getting worse and worse when you start hearing how, he went to go party the same night. The next day, Drake is at the fucking strip club spending all his fucking money like if nothing happened. And even like I even said on the pre-show this past Friday, that I have a kinfolk that he's working for 2 dudes that promoted the event, and they were behind Travis Scott backstage. They were behind him and were able to see the bodies dropping and all that other shit. Yeah. And if they saw it and they were behind him, I ain't got pissed, man. The whole deal with that is, how can he be front and center looking at everything and acting like he didn't see shit?
Right.
So
there's people enough to know they could have stopped it right there. PewDiePie was absolutely right on the spot there when he was calling out the BS. You know, it's bad when Logan Paul is going.
Yeah, I saw that, man. It's
yeah. I think you talked about PewDiePie going after him, and rightly so. But I mean, it's the guy. There should be somebody from the county or the state or whoever, the city. I don't know. Just walking up to him, going, "Excuse me, we got to take a walk downtown."
Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a criminal investigation, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. The FBI is involved in this, and they're gonna get into the bottom of some things and figure some shit out. And you know, Travis Scott, he has a new spokesperson. This is woman that was saying, well, you know, there was no way he could stop the crowd, and he wasn't allowed to stop his performance. And I'm just thinking to myself, he's the one that helped he's the one that helped put this whole thing together. So how the fuck couldn't he be the one to stop it when he saw that people were dying? So all of this just sound like a bunch of shit. You know, people are gonna try to get him out of it. There's gonna be folks trying to stand up for him, and I don't see how you could defend him.
Weren't you the one who was talking about Selena? Selena, when she found out
me. That was me that mentioned Selena.
Yeah. If she can stop him, you can stop. The moment you have to do is just stop. Stop the music. Just stop and say, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" At least you're making an effort on that one. It's not like you're on the Titanic and you're playing as it's going down. There's no ship going down in this. You stop.
Right.
It's just, you know. And you know, I think there was other situations where you had that where, you know, things got rowdy. People stopped and say, "Hey, listen, cool it. Okay, everything's cool. We'll start up again."
Right.
And so, I mean, it's happened many times out there. We just don't hear about it as much.
And then they say that after everything went down, he still performed 40 minutes after the fact. So everything went down. 40 minutes after the fact, he keeps performing. Then he goes to an after party afterwards at a Dave and Buster's, which is like it's basically like
oh yeah, we have them up here too. It's like Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Right. So basically, he goes to a Dave and Buster's after the fact, and then the next day, Drake is doing what he's doing. So it just seems like nobody gave a fuck, man. And you couldn't tell me that people weren't hearing what was happening, like the news wasn't blaring out that folks were dying and the whole shit. Dude, everything was coming out, man. And it's like, you know, it's like, how can you drive by a crime scene when you got the police out there pulling out the yellow tape? Like, how can you miss that? How can you miss all the ambulances that showed up when all they had was medical tents? All they had was medical tents out there. So why is all the ambulances showing up and you don't have a clue to what the fuck's happening? You know, and people, you know, steadily trying to defend them, man. It's like, I don't know. It's horrible, man.
I mean, right now, the way it goes, you know, usually I'm one of those that says, you know, you're not guilty till, you know, you're innocent till proven guilty. But the thing is the guilt has been just piled on more and more here from what we're going along. There's something that horribly went wrong.
Right.
And what went wrong was negligent. It looks like it was narcissism, ego, people being full of themselves. And I think that's where it's going to come down to. It's like, he's just so egotistical. He's not going to stop this show. It doesn't matter if people die. For some people, hey, that's a great thing. You know, people died at my concerts. I'm so popular that you're all crowding in there. There are people who are sick enough that think that way. And
it's like, you know, they'll be like, yeah, they love me. They'll die for me. That kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's like it's happened before. And is this guy that sociopathic? That's the big question. Is it just narcissism? Is it sociopath? Oh, who knows? Just this guy is in his own little insular bubble. This is one of the things that we're fighting against. People are in these bubbles. that they think they're all whatever. In this case, people are dying. We're fighting against what we love dying. This is where people actually are dying, and because someone's in an insular bubble.
Yeah, that's true, man. Well, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that you do have some miserable people. Going back to what VW was talking about, it's like, yeah, I mean, every movement has miserable people.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I think the ratio of people who are miserable and people who aren't is they have more miserable than we do. And I think a lot of those miserable people, especially the ones that are on the YouTube that does stuff like this, they get weeded out after a while. Either they'll burn out fast or people will get tired of their BS. It's like, no, we want something a little bit more positive. And it's one thing to go out here and flap our gums and bitch and moan. But what are we about? Are we just going to give up? And we're just going to go, okay, it's done and over with. I'm done with this. Things aren't going to change, which is that level of miserableness sometimes that we have. It gets to us. And we all have that feeling. I had that feeling. I know you've had that feeling. I know others out there across the board have had it. Anyone who's involved in all this. But this brother and sisterhood that we have with everybody out here on this, it goes from that egotistical, narcissistic bubble to this band of brothers and sisters that we have. Right. And we need to be very positive about this. Yes, we are going to lose certain things along the way. We can write some stuff off. I think we can honestly, truthfully write Doctor Who off. It has gone down so bad, especially under Chibnalls, or Chimballs, as some people call, and Jodie Whittaker. And this is just being honest. I don't think, and I never was a big fan of Russell T Davies. I never was. I was never really a big fan of the new Doctor Who franchise at all, to be honest. But I only liked that first season that came out with Christopher Eccleston. And really, it was about Christopher Eccleston. I thought he was a great doctor. But nothing else resonated. I think it's gone to such a point with the wokeness and with the ratings as bad as they are. I think all the BBC is going to do is try to push out a 60th anniversary special, and you might as well just bury it. It's going to be dead until, who knows, maybe it'll get revived again, just like it was again, how it was after 89. And, of course, the 96 movie, I think it was 96, 97. I can't remember what year that was. I think we can honestly say Doctor Who is probably going to be dead. I hate to say it. I'm a big-time Whovian. I watched the show religiously, and it pains me to say that. Right. I think there's still hope for Star Trek. I think there's still hope for Star Wars. More so with Star Wars than Star Trek. I think Star Trek is kind of on that pinnacle. What's going to happen here? Are they going to keep on going the way they are? Then you might as well start saying it's going to go. They're not getting subscribers that they want. They're not getting the viewers that they want.
Right.
Someone at Paramount, and going back, talking about the old days, because I'm an old timer. Paramount never knew what to do with Star Trek. They never really did. I mean, they kind of inherited it from Desilu, and okay, here we got this. It was canceled 3 years, but we have all these people screaming about it. Okay, let's try to do our own Paramount network here and bring Star Trek, because there was going to be a Paramount network in the 70s. Star Wars comes along, they figure this is going to be our Star Wars. First film doesn't do so hot, so it's like, well, we'll do another one, but we're going to lower the budget. We're going to move it to our television branch. Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know about 6, but I know Star Trek 2, 3, and all that. That was not done by the motion picture division of Paramount. That was the television branch. That's how much they had kind of a, okay, whatever. We'll do something just to placate people, but we don't really care. Your budget's low and all that. And that was when they bring out some of the best Star Trek in the motion picture. But Paramount never knew what to do. It was a love-hate relationship between them and Star Trek, them and the fans, this and that. So it all depends on, I can see why Star Trek the way it is right now. Paramount never understood the animal, the cash cow that they have. If they have done it right, Star Trek actually would probably be even bigger than Star Wars right now. bigger. Now I'm talking about back from the 80s, because Star Wars took a nosedive. People were all tired of it.
Right.
Star Trek was going up, and if they would have played their cards even better, it would be like Star Wars would be doing, even with the with the films and the EU and all that, still playing catch up with it, but they didn't know what to do.
Right.
And that and they're stupid that way. I mean, let's face it, they're stupid. So Star Trek, that's on the pinnacle, but we have hope. We can win. We need our voices. Quit buying stuff Star Trek wise. If you really love Star Trek, quit buying it. Even if it's something that's neat and from the old series or the next generation, don't buy it. Don't put money in their pocket. I know people sit back and say, well, if you're buying the old stuff, that'll show them. No, it doesn't. They just see the fact that money's coming in, and they figure they're doing a good thing. Not a red cent. Same thing with Star Wars. Don't give Disney anything.
No. Well, if you buy into the old stuff,
right,
that means that means more like you possibly buying it secondhand.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to buy the stuff, yeah, go for the second hand. I'm not talking about new stuff.
Right.
Go to the go to the comic book stores that have the old toys, the old comics. Buy them there. Go to whatever shops, the toy shops. You have the old toy stores, like in Vegas. They got that great one that they have there, just off of Fremont. And if they have a store that has old toys, get your stuff there. Not all that stuff is expensive. It's amazing how inexpensive some of these old things are. These old collectibles are. There's some stuff, yeah, there is, but it's like, oh, really? This Koloth figure from Playmates way back when is only $2. It's mine, and that's back. And when it was new, it was like $6, $7, $8.
Right.
So that's where you should put your money. If you want the stuff, that's where you put your money. Go to Half Price Books. Go to a used comic book store. Go to a used bookstore. Go to a toy store that has that, or a collectible store that has the old stuff.
Right.
Don't give the studios anything. This is how we can make our voices heard.
Right.
They speak by money. That's all they live by. And that's all I got to say about that. I mean, this is how we can win. We got to remain strong. We got to keep our voices out. It's like, we have to let them know, it's like, why you're not getting anything? This is why. We're the ones you're insulting. We're the ones that you say don't matter no more. This is why we fight. And I know that's what you had for your video there, that you dropped the other day. Why we fight, that excellent one. I know it was a lift from the other one that you had, but it was a perfect lift from a perfect segment of that, and how that was put together, and that what's your passion, your drive. I mean, you can tell there is no bullshit. This was 100% from your heart. And when you're coming from the heart, all of us are coming from the heart, while the other ones are just coming from fake rage. The blue-haired land whales, as I like to call them. And they're going out there with their fake rage. But we're going out with our true love and our true passion. This is where we can win. And you know what? Keep that on your face.
There you go.
Keep a smile. Let's be happy. This is a happy fight. I mean, yeah, we're watching the stuff that we love being destroyed, but you know what? Don't be dragged down to their level. Do not. When you're trying to argue with the lowest IQ in the room, guess what? You just had to lower yourself to that IQ. It's not worth it. It really isn't. If they cannot have an argument without insulting you and this and that and calling you an S and a fool, well, they've lost the argument already.
Right. They've
lost it. That's all they can resort to. They cannot go to specifics. This is why, this is why, this is why. We can go on specifics of why we don't like this. Why it shouldn't be. Whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars, comics, DC, anything across the board. All they have to sit back and scream is, "You're just an ethnophobia. You got to have this. We have to turn Superman's son gay or bisexual or else." Well, why? Well, we just have to. Why? Well, you're an est. I just asked the question. Why? You can't answer that question. Why? Then you've lost that argument. There is no good argument. Why they have to change things. The simple thing is, why don't you bring in a new character?
Right.
It's been done before.
Yeah, it has.
I mean, honestly, it's been out there and it's been done. If you do it right, and that's the important word, if you do it right,
there you go.
You'll have a great character out there. These people in creative control aren't that smart. They're not that, they cannot come up with a concept, which is why we have, how much you want to bet that Roadhouse is going to be absolutely destroyed from the original message?
Yeah, part 2 wasn't that great.
No. Oh, that's right. They did do a part 2, didn't they?
Yeah, I own that, man.
How much you want to bet part 2 is going to be like the pinnacle over this remake? I mean, honestly.
Right. Well, actually that's a lot to that's a lot to that's a lot for how can I put this, man? That's a lot to kind of think about when it comes to how we deal with them. And the thing is that we always got to take a seat back. Don't be the first one to react. Look at what's going on, and then from that point, choose what your next action is going to be. And and it's like when you're dealing with the other side, you got to be tactful. You got to sit there and keep your head on a swivel, see what's coming from your left and from your right, and what's coming from behind you, because a lot of things that are happening now, we know better, we see what it is, but sometimes they tend to surprise us, with something new, something that we didn't think, hey, they would lower to a level of, let's go after this, let's attack that, let's change this. And now we know that they have no don't have any scruples, they have no morals. It's like basically there's no holds barred, anything goes. And we have to sit there, we have to be, we have to see what's going on, we have to be vigilant, we have to speak up and speak out, and if it's not us and then who is it going to be? And we can't allow it to fall on other people's shoulders. We got to do what we got to do to speak up and to speak out. And
we have to. And I'm talking, when I say me, I'm not just talking about you and me. I'm talking about right over there, all of them.
Yeah.
And all the other ones that are out there, all those that come in. And I know it gets uncomfortable, but they have to remember we all are behind each other in this. We are all, we have a unified. And again, I mean, kind of funny out there, a sentence that goes there is like, guys, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
Right. And, I remember.
And the funny thing is, and that's the wild thing about this. Is it safe to say a movement? Now, I'm not a pop culture expert. I will never, ever call myself that. I'm never going to even pass myself off as that. I just know what I know from my personal experience in life. I don't think of myself as a crusader either. But I do think I'm a part of this fight. And I'm not by myself. I mean, I got you. I have VW. I got all the others out there across the board, Mexican Iron Man on down. We are all in this fight.
Right.
But we're on both sides of the aisle. Are not political at all. So, you have liberal, you have conservative, you have, what you would call moderate. You have people who are atheistic, are agnostic, are Christian, are Muslim, your Muslim uncle out there, Hindu, whatever. When it comes around to diversity, we have a far better window of it than ever. They think they do. They try to claim they have this diversity. We have it because we all have the one thing in common on this. We love the stories that we grew up with. We love the heroes and the heroines. We love the adventures, and something we want to pass along.
Right.
And that's why we should be, when we're starting to feel down and whatnot, we have to remember we were there. I mean, I got your back always, 24. Always have your back. Whenever you need to, give me a call and I'll be there. We can talk about the stuff. And of course, 3 hours later, hang up, or 4 or 5, or until the phones die, as they normally do when we have our phone conversations.
Right.
I mean, when you said you had a short talk with Stone Loki, it's like it was a brief conversation. I wonder how many hours that went, knowing how much we talk. But what we do have it. That's why we tune into these shows. And even though I do have my rants on my channel and all that, I try to be positive about it. It's kind of a rally cry, a pump up, why we fight, explaining this is the reason why. These are the logical things.
Right.
Why are we mad at Wizards of the Coast with their insulting us with making us old timers look bad? It's because we were there. We were there when you guys were. We didn't know you were going to be even in existence.
Right.
You were that close to bankruptcy, but we were still there. We were still supporting you. We're still throwing our monies at you, buying the product, and whatnot. And this is the thanks we get. We're told that we're not worth anything no more. We got to now cater. And I know Colin Fish TV was sitting back saying, well, they're getting the money. And it comes around to is, well, who is buying this stuff? Is it like the movies?
Right.
They're starting to feel it because we're not going to the movies, right? China, let's face it, I'm going to say it right now. China has been subsidizing it. Where's the money? They always sit back and say, well, money always talks. Well, yeah, you're right. The money is coming from China because it's not coming from us. Now that it's being drained from China, they can't hold up anymore. They're going to have to start relying on us. If we're not coming to the theaters, they're going to have a bad time. Now they're going to have to start waking up in Hollywood. The studios are going to have to start waking up again and start realizing that, well, maybe we got to quit going to the blue-haired land whales for our stories and actually have people who are educated. People have knowledge. People have concepts of how to write things. As much as I hate reboots, and I'm very still nervous even though he's involved, J. Michael Straczynski. Let's pull in a J. Michael Straczynski, who is a master storyteller. And I don't know why he wants to reboot Babylon 5. It makes me scared. But the only thing that makes me interested in the fact that he's doing it. So there's hope. But, it starts with people that do know these things and are enmeshed into being able to tell us stories. To be able to put them on paper, then putting that paper to screen. Instead of having these diatribes they're having the theaters now. We are winning. We have to keep it up. Don't go to the movies, these Marvel films, because we know what they're going to be giving us. And what was it? Ridley Scott came out and sat back and said, absolutely right. And in my opinion, too, these superhero movies are crap. He said another word, but they're crap. All they are is just visual effects.
Yeah, I saw that. He put that out the other day.
Yeah.
Say, no, I'm sorry. I was going to say, probably in the next few minutes, I'm gonna have to wrap it up, and I didn't mean to cut it short. But
well, we've been almost on for 2 hours. We're probably boring all these people to death next to us.
It's all good. Actually, I'm about to. I gotta go use the restroom, and I need to get up and move around, so I can't. Yep. I can't stay seated, here for too long, man. So, but man, actually, you gave me a few things to think about, and just wanted to just tell you thank you for being here, man. I wanted to tell everybody thank y'all for being here, man. It means a lot to me, man, and appreciate everybody's support, man. Everybody's love. You guys coming to support the channel. Please go and subscribe to Baron Norman Tag if you haven't. You can see that he's a great well of knowledge. He's very passionate about the things that he loves, and that's why we have him here with us. He's a great guy. He's just starting, and he can use all of our support. So if you can please subscribe to him, and help pump him, motivate him, push him to the next level. With time, you're gonna see, why it is, that he's here with us, because he has a lot of great subject matters to discuss. He has a lot of things to share, and I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of things that he knows about that I don't know, and I know he's gonna have to between him and the wake down. I'm gonna have both of them sit me down and explain to me Doctor Who, because I don't know shit. I own a bunch of Doctor Who over here and don't even understand where the fuck Doctor Who is coming from. So,
don't sell yourself short. You know a lot of stuff I don't know, and I learn a lot of stuff from you. And you know what? And Cynthia Dello, he's not lost without pitch. I just talk. I just don't know when to shut up. That's the big thing. I just don't know when to shut up.
Man. Cynthia and Dildo, that's my boy, man. He's
I know.
He's a great guy. So
I'm back, and I'm tweaking back because I can. But I just want to end it on the note here, and I want to have a very positive note.
Sure.
We're winning. We all are, because we're holding to our guns. 24 there, he's holding to his guns and he's spreading the word. You guys are all different channels out there and you're spreading the word. We all have that. We are winning. Never forget that, even when it seems like we're not. And never sell all yourselves short. Every one of your voices can be heard. Sure, one of us might not. But when we're all together, well, that's that rainstorm. That's that monsoon that comes in. And let's be that monsoon. And let's be positive and let's be civil. And let's show them what a real group of people that love this medium is about compared to those land wheels.
There you go. And just let y'all know, man. We ain't nobody breaking up with nobody, man. Everybody, we're all we're not over here cracking jokes. It ain't even all that, man. It's just, to be honest, about 20 minutes ago, man, I started really feeling it, man. And it's just, I'm hurting a little bit right here, man. And I'm not showing it. I'm cool, but I just know that, I can't sit in one spot for too long, man. I got issues with blood flow, man, and that's no bullshit, man. And I just can't keep seated. I can't stand for a long time, and I can't be seated for a long time. So it's real fucked up. And if you know people that have blood clots, man, and shit like that, then you'd understand that it's, and I never had to deal with this. This is, in the last, few years, this is it's still, I'm not used to this, man, because, being a bouncer and standing all day long is what I always did, man. And, working and being on my feet, and the fact that I can't do it like that anymore, because that's an issue. But at the same time, I can't be seated for a long time too, because that's an issue as well. And, if you know anybody with blood clots, that's really the fucking deal, man. And it's not, so it's it has nothing to do with, Baron and nothing like that. He's a great guy. You guys are going to see him back again. He has a lot of ideas and a lot of things that, he talks about, but I can sit here and talk to Baron for hours, and I've done it before, but and I know you guys are just fucking around, but, I just wanted to at least say, hey, that's what's going on with me. And dude, I would love to sit here and for hours and talk, but I can't do it, man. Physically, I can't, man. And
we both 24 and I both have our health issues. I have arthritis. I've been really feeling it bad these last few days. It's amazing I'm able to talk like I have, and I know he's got his issues. So we like to play off of each other on that one. When one's, it's just like the community here that we have. When one is down, the other one helps build up. And we know that you guys are heckling and joking. We do appreciate that.
And then that's your part. Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I know you guys are sitting there and just, you guys are fucking with us, man. And, we love y'all, man. So, you guys can joke away and, but at least want to be honest and say, hey, I'm not trying to cut him short, and I'm not trying to sit here and act funny about nothing, but it's really how I'm feeling. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Yeah, it was just how I'm feeling, and it's like, man, I've been holding on for a little bit, and I don't want to piss myself. That's one thing, and the second thing is I'm kind of hurting. I need to get up and stretch, man. Walk around a little bit, let the blood in me start circulating, man. That way, nothing has to get backed up, and I don't got to be dealing with with the issues I got I don't got to deal with it to make it any worse than what it already is, man. But like I said, just being upfront and honest, man, and just letting you know, like, shit.
A little behind the scenes stuff about us because we like to be straight. We're straight shooters with you guys. We're not going to bullshit you guys at all in that one. So there's going to be times that when I'm going to be on with these guys that I'll be and I'll show, and it has nothing to do with you or the subject matter or anything like that. It's like that'll be my day. I'm having a day. He's having a day, and that's where we build each other up. Or heaven help everybody when we're both running on all cylinders, and that'll be a real good show.
Yeah. So but I've sat here and I've enjoyed. Sorry that I was late, had technical difficulties, but I enjoyed every minute being here, spending this time with y'all. And I'd rather be here with y'all than anybody else anywhere else. So, with that, wanted to thank Vigilante and Baron, for, co-hosting with me. I appreciate them. I want to thank everybody in the chat, for showing, the love and the support and the super chats and subscribing and just doing everything that you guys are doing to support us. Shit, man. Look, I'm going to forever be, grateful to you guys because you guys you guys, especially after this last week, you guys watching them the videos and support me, that means everything, especially with the war room. That's really that's how I feel. That's that's my tone and how I'm looking at things, and there's going to be more to come, and we got to sit here, we got to stay strong together, hold each other up. And last but not least, we always got to know that we are all we have. We can't sit here and just depend on anything else. We have each other's backs, and we make sure that, we push each other up and push each other forward and onwards, man. So, with that, I just want to tell everyone, thank you. Punk Waddle, Zax, Brandon, the anime guy, Sentient Dildo, Pat S, Low Spec Linux Laptop. There's so many people. Punk Waddle, Rough Girl. This is let me see. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody, and if I do, please, Cam, thank you for being here, my brother. Don't be upset at us if we didn't, mention your name. Loose Cannon 84. Thank you for being here, my brother. And tell Pops I said what's up. And everybody else, whether you're catching this on the playbacks, anybody that that was lurking in the background, just checking us out. Just want to sit here and tell everyone thank you. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And just want to tell everyone thank you.
We love you lurkers too. Even though you're not in the chat with it, we love you too. We understand you don't want to chat, but you want to listen. You're just as important.
Exactly. Always. So from the from the Primetime Kings, want to tell you guys, you guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You'll be definitely getting. You might get a video from me tonight. I'm not sure. Starting tomorrow, you'll definitely start getting videos as usual. And look forward to checking y'all out. Oh, before I go, want to let you guys know tomorrow night, Monday night, at around 9 p.m. Central, I'm gonna be over there with Clobbering Times. So if you guys are familiar with Clobbering Times, please subscribe to him if you haven't. But I'm going to be on his channel tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Central. So I'll be there. We're going to be talking comics. And we're going to.
Is Raquel Beggs going to be on that one with you?
Who's that?
Raquel Beggs, his co-host.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it'll be her or Mark D with a C. Okay. But it'll be one of them two, and we'll be hanging out with Clobbering Times, and we'll be talking comic books. And for this coming Friday, for the pre-show show, I'm gonna have Stone Loki from Loki's Mornings of Mischief. We're gonna be hanging out, showing off comic books, and doing the same thing. Talking pop culture and shooting the shit. So, you guys, please come and support and check us out tomorrow night with Clobbering Times, and on Friday I'll be with Stone Loki from Loki's Mornings of Mischief, and we're gonna have a great time, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you guys there. And do you have anything coming up, Baron?
Well, if you have me back next week, that's about it. I'm going to be trying to put some videos out. Other than that, a lot of other streamers are wise enough not to have me on. Look what it did. Well, look what it did to Gogo there. I was on his show and he gets canceled.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's
Sorry,
man. Yeah, I mean, Gogo, he'll be up and running here soon. So,
you better be.
Yeah.
Anything I can help you with, guy, I will.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome, man. Clobbering Times. Yeah, man. There you go. No problem. Got it. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you could, check us out, check me out over in Clobbering Times, and Baron will be doing his videos, and we'll definitely be catching up with you guys soon. So you guys, like I said, you guys have a great evening. Take care. I love y'all. Y'all be safe.